Wolverhampton, I like Wolverhampton social media a lot. They have very huge sense of humor. I mean, they make jokes. I mean, they make fun out of Pep. I mean, right after Hwang's call. And what I saw is that video of Hwang, his reaction about being called the Korean guy from Pep, and then about his character. Do you think his character, I mean, in the training ground with his teammates, do you think he is very friendly and his character helps him to be loved and play well for Wolverhampton?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question because Hwang is the kind of player that is very generous with his time. So he does interviews with Korean media who are based in England, who follow him to every game. I've done several interviews with him myself. His English is good now because unfortunately my Korean is not very good. So his English is good and that's helpful. And every time I see him leaving the stadium after a game, he is outside with fans, signing autographs, taking pictures, and spending the time to give back to the community as well. I think you can see what he's done in his hometown in Korea this week as well by donating money. He's the kind of player who wants to give back as well. Now that translates also to the training ground where he's not only is he a hard worker and someone who's diligent and reliable and dependable, but he's someone that is very well liked. He's someone that the players like being around, like spending time with him. And I think he's a lot more comfortable now because he left Korea, he went to Austria, he went to Germany. Now, Austria and Germany as a culture are very similar. He then moving to England. It's more similar England to Germany than obviously Austria to Korea, but England is still very different. So he's had to get used to the culture, get used to his environment, and that's taking a little bit of time. But I think he's in a position now where he's happy, and he's starting to come out of his shell a little bit with the players, and that plays a big part in him being happy and content and performing and consistent. So his character is really important, and he's the kind of character and player that every squad wants. You want someone who is reliable, dependable, and nice, and a nice person. You don't want a squad full of those people necessarily, but you want those people in your squad, and Wolves have got that.
Yeah, that's very nice to hear that. And then now let's move on to the last two questions about the contract. Let me share with you first what I heard from Wolverhampton about the contract article that there was. I mean, we all know that David Ornstein reported that Wolverhampton is in talk with Hwang's agent. I mean, about his new contract. And what I heard from Wolverhampton about that is that they admit that, and then they said their sporting director is in talk with his agent right now. That is my information about that. And can you share your information about that?
Yeah, it shouldn't really come as a surprise because a player like Hee-chan, who has been so good this season, is always going to attract interest. And he's a player that we know other clubs have looked at. And that was even when he wasn't performing well. There were other clubs that were interested. Now that he is performing well, there'll be lots of clubs interested, I'm sure. Again, that comes back to every manager at Wolves loving him. There's a reason for that, and there's a reason why other clubs like him as well. And it's not just the talent; it's the hard work, the character, all those kind of things. So yeah, it shouldn't come as any surprise that Wolves are in talks with him over a new contract. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's something Wolves want to do to protect their asset. And if he ever does leave Wolves, they'll make sure that he leaves for a good fee. Considering they only spent around £12 million to purchase him from Leipzig, Wolves should expect, if he stays in good form, to get quite a healthy profit from that. So, as far as I'm aware, it's all absolutely correct. Wolves are absolutely in talks, and I would expect that does get done fairly soon.
Yeah. And then, okay. And then one more thing is that maybe in the last transfer window, you wrote that on your Twitter, you wrote that Wolverhampton regards Hwang as though not for sale at the time. And then this week, there was some reports that some other clubs such as Arsenal, or we don't know if it's correct or not, but Arsenal or some other clubs are interested in Hwang. And then what do you think? In the past, you said he is not for sale for Wolverhampton. What do you think about right now?
Yeah, I don't think Wolves will invite any offers for him in January. I don't think they'll want to lose a player of his quality. I don't think they'll want to lose him in the summer either, or at any point really. I don't think they want to ever lose their best players. The reality of where Wolves are as a club is that if a big fee comes in and Wolves feel it is the money is good enough and that it's the right time, Wolves will at the very least consider it, but that's no guarantee that the player would leave. So Wolves are very happy, very, very happy with Hee-chan. He's very happy at Wolves. I don't expect him to be moving anytime soon, but I do expect clubs to be interested, and there would be movement if it was the right deal for everyone. But I would be surprised if that happens in January. I think it would take a very big fee that probably a club won't pay in January to make that happen. So yeah, Wolves are not interested in losing any of their best players, but they will, as a club, they will be happy to move players on for the right price and reinvest in the squad at the right time.
So yeah, just exactly. I think maybe you and I have same source. I don't know, but I also heard that I'm seeing that what's the message right now? He said we are not looking to sell him. We all know because he's doing best. He's having the best season. So why they will think about that? So
yeah, exactly.
Right now, like that. One more thing is that you mentioned that some clubs were interested in him even when he was not at his best. Can you share with us that which kind of clubs were interested in him? Is there any clubs name you know?
Yeah, it's difficult for me to name a club and be 100% certain because I've heard a few differing rumors. I will mention one club, and this was quite a while ago. This was probably around the time of that tweet that you're talking about. I think Everton at one point were at the very least linked with him or maybe interested. I think if Hee-chan was to leave Wolves, I think he would want to go to a club that is maybe fighting in Europe and playing in European competitions. So I think it would hopefully be no disrespect to Everton, but a club that is in a better position than Everton. It's difficult for me to name a club. I'd be interested in whether Arsenal are interested in Pedro Neto. We know that. Them being linked with Hwang is not a surprise because I think they're looking at those kind of wide forward players. So it'll be interesting to see what level of club actually make a move for Hwang. And as I say, it would take a considerable fee for Wolves to consider it, but they will consider offers because that's where the club are at. But they absolutely don't want to lose him, and they've got no plans to sell him.
Yeah, they will only consider about that when there are huge fee offer comes in. Otherwise, they will not even consider it. That was actually what I heard last transfer window when you wrote about that. So it's similar, right? So maybe I thought, maybe you heard it from same person from me with me. Maybe it's true, maybe or not, but let's keep it secret. And all right. So you said Everton. You are not 100% sure about how much extent the interest was, but Everton was one of them, and then there was some other clubs, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I believe Everton were, at the very least looking at him. To what extent that interest went, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, it's no surprise to see clubs interested because this is a very talented footballer. Yeah.
Okay. We had a call about 30 minutes now, so let's keep in touch as we are still in the season, which Hwang is having the best season right now. So let's keep in touch so that, and then let's have a call another time when Hwang scores a hat trick in the Premier League or something.
That'd be
Yeah?
nice. The more Hee-chan scores, the happier we all are. So long may
Yeah.
it continue.
Yeah, and then if you need anytime, as we always say, if you need any information from me or from Korea, anytime, please let me know.
No, same for you. If you need anything from me, you're always welcome. Drop me a message. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. I mean, let's keep in touch, and then thank you very much for your time, and see you. Bye bye.
Thank you. See you
Good
soon.
luck in the next game.
Thank you. Appreciate
Hwang hat trick.
it.
Bye bye. See you again.
Thank you.
Bye, mate.